When I read people and sense the spirit of someone in their life who has passed, I sometimes feel that spirit is drawing close to them through their dreams. Dreams can become a sacred meeting place, a space between worlds where love, memory, and spirit gently touch the soul. At times, the presence only comes once, like a soft reassurance that their loved one is still near. Other times, it returns again and again through reoccurring dreams, carrying a message, a feeling, or a sense of comfort that the dreamer may not immediately understand. Because dreams are often subtle and symbolic, many people dismiss them as only imagination, not realizing they may hold deep spiritual meaning. There are many reasons why we dream of those who have crossed over. Sometimes it's because our hearts are still grieving and longing for their presence. Sometimes it's because the bond we shared with them did not end when their physical life ended, but continues in spirit beyond what we can see with the human eye. A loved one may come through a dream to bring peace, to offer guidance, to remind us that they are safe, or simply to let us know that they are still walking beside us in unseen ways. These dreams may stir emotion, awaken memory, or leave behind a profound feeling that lingers long after waking. Even when we do not fully understand why the dream keeps returning, it may be inviting us to listen more deeply, trust our intuition, and recognize that love does not die. In many cases, these dreams are not just dreams at all, but spiritual experiences that help us heal, remember, and remain connected to those we carry in our hearts. Recently, during a reading, I sensed that a man was being visited in his dreams by a loved one who had passed. I was able to tell him who was coming through and to explain that this presence was reaching out to him while he slept. So often we do not pay close enough attention to our dreams, or we dismiss them too quickly. But there is a meaningful difference between an ordinary dream and a true spiritual visitation. An ordinary dream may arise from grief, longing, memory, or the ache of missing someone whose presence once filled our life. It can be shaped by the love we still carry, the moments we shared, and the pain of knowing their physical journey has come to an end. Yet, a visitation carries a different energy. It often feels vivid, peaceful, and deeply real, leaving behind more than emotion alone. It leaves a message within our soul. Many people carry guilt after a loved one has passed. They replay moments in their minds and wonder if they should have done more, said more, noticed more, or somehow changed what happened. That kind of guilt can become heavy, settling into the heart like a burden that is difficult to put down. But when spirit comes through in a visitation, it is often not to create fear or confusion, but to bring comfort, truth, and release. Very often the message is simple and filled with compassion. It was not your fault, and there was nothing more you could have done. In receiving that message, a person is given permission to breathe again, to soften their sorrow, and to begin healing the places within them that have been holding pain for far too long. A visitation is not only a sign that our loved ones are still near, but also a reminder that love continues beyond death, and that healing becomes possible when we allow ourselves to truly receive the message being given. Although this reading was deeply emotional for him, by the time we finished, he understood that what we had been experiencing was not simply a dream, but a true visitation from his loved one. In that understanding, something within him began to shift. He was able to see that there was nothing more he could have done to change the outcome, and that realization brought him a sense of peace he had not felt before. What had once left him feeling confused and burdened now brought comfort, reassurance, and at last, a measure of closure. I've witnessed the same experience many times in the people I read for, and it's one of the reasons so many individuals are drawn to mediums, psychics, seers, and others who work through spiritual or intuitive modalities. When people are grieving, confused, or searching for meaning in an experience they cannot fully explain, they often long for confirmation, clarity, and connection. They want to know that what they felt was real, that their loved one is still near, and that the love they shared has not been lost. In many cases, seeking spiritual guidance is not only about receiving answers, but about finding healing, peace, and a deeper understanding of the unseen bond that continues even after death. These experiences remind us that the connection between souls does not simply end, but can continue to reveal itself in quiet, powerful, and deeply personal ways. So the next time a dream stays with you after thinking of a loved one who has passed, you may want to pause and ask yourself, was it only a dream? Or could it have been a visitation from Spirit bringing you a message? In my experience, when Spirit reaches someone in this way, there is often a purpose behind it. The dream may come to offer reassurance, to bring understanding, to ease unanswered questions, or to help release the emotional weight a person has been carrying. Once that message has been received and the soul has truly heard what Spirit is trying to say, the visitation itself often begins to fade. This doesn't necessarily mean that all dreams will stop, because dreams are a natural part of our inner life and our ongoing connection to memory, emotion, and spirit. But what often does begin to lift is the heaviness attached to them, the guilt, anxiety, confusion, or pressure that once surrounded the experience can softly and slowly give way to peace. That is why it's so important not to dismiss every dream too quickly. Some dreams may be asking for your attention, your trust, and your willingness to listen with the heart. And when you do, you may discover that what once troubled you was in fact a gift of comfort, healing, and love from beyond the physical world. So, was it a dream? The most important things we can do during this interaction is stay open, stay curious, and trust what you feel. If this episode resonated with you, click like and subscribe.